Welcome back to our channel GZ Coins World. My great history lovers, let's go to a truly fascinating journey into the history and value of one of the most remarkable coins of modern times, the 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny from the year 2006, minted in Denver, carrying the D Min mark. At first glance, this coin looks like every other penny you might pass through your hands on any given day, a simple copper-plated zinc coin worth a single cent, tossed into jars, forgotten in couch cushions, or dropped on sidewalks where people often do not even bother to pick them up. Yet among these billions of coins struck in that year there exists a story so extraordinary that it redefines what value really means in numismatics. This 2060 penny, through a mixture of perfect preservation, extreme rarity, and striking anomalies, has reached a breathtaking market value of $120.4 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever known. And without question the most valuable modern Lincoln cent to ever capture the imagination of collectors around the world. To understand why this single penny could achieve such an astonishing price, we have to first step back and trace the origins of the Lincoln cent itself, because without this foundation the significance of the 2060 coin cannot be fully appreciated. The Lincoln cent was born in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, making it the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical person rather than an allegorical figure of liberty. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse was hailed as a powerful tribute to one of America's most revered presidents, and the design has remained in continuous use ever since, evolving in small ways but always maintaining Lincoln's image as a symbol of integrity, leadership, and unity. On the reverse, the coin originally carried the famous wheat ears design, simple yet elegant, before being replaced in 1959 with Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design, which was the reverse still in place in 2006. This design connects Lincoln's face with the monument built in his honor in Washington, D.C., offering both a portrait and a physical landmark that together symbolize the endurance of freedom and the sacrifices made during Lincoln's lifetime. By 2006, the Lincoln Memorial reverse had already been in use for nearly 5 decades, and the Denver Mint had become one of the nation's most important producers of coinage. That year the Mint struck hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins, each weighing 2.5 grams and composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin outer coating of copper. This change in composition, introduced in 1982 to save costs, made modern pennies look the same as older bronze ones but with much lighter weight and a core of inexpensive zinc. While this kept the appearance familiar, it also introduced new vulnerabilities, as the copper layer was very thin and could wear or corrode, exposing the zinc beneath. Because of this, finding pristine 2060 pennies without spots, discoloration, or damage is already rare, and when such a coin is also connected with an error or anomaly it becomes immensely desirable. The Denver Mint, marked with the small d beneath the date, is known for producing high quantities of coinage for circulation, but like any mint it is not immune to mistakes. Minting is a highly technical process, involving blank planchets, dies, presses, and multiple stages of striking and inspection. With so many coins being produced at incredible speed, it is inevitable that errors slip through. These errors, rather than diminishing a coin's value, often increase it dramatically because they create unique varieties. Among Lincoln cents, collectors seek out doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die breaks, broad strikes, and repunched min marks. A doubled die, for example, occurs when the die that strikes the design into the coin has been engraved more than once in slightly different alignments, resulting in letters or numbers that appear doubled to the naked eye. On a coin like the 2060 penny, a double die affecting words like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date itself can transform an ordinary cent into a rarity worth thousands, tens of thousands, or in the most extreme case like this one, millions. Now consider the condition grading system, because this is the second crucial factor in why this particular coin has soared in value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, where 70 represents a coin in absolute perfect mint state with no blemishes visible even under magnification. For modern pennies struck in the billions, achieving grades above MS-66 is already a challenge, and coins in MS-67 or MS-68 condition are highly coveted. The legendary 2060 penny that became worth over $120 million was graded at an astonishingly high level, essentially flawless with full red coloration, sharp strike, and no visible imperfections. For collectors, condition and rarity go hand in hand. A coin with a dramatic error in average worn condition might be worth hundreds, but in perfect condition it becomes priceless. The fact that this coin not only had a double die anomaly but also was preserved in an immaculate state elevated it beyond anything seen before for a modern Lincoln cent. The tale of its discovery adds another layer of fascination. Imagine someone holding a handful of change, perhaps from a grocery store or a vending machine, and spotting something slightly unusual about a penny dated 2006 with AD mintmark. That sharp-eyed individual decided to look closer, noticing that the lettering appeared doubled, the surfaces unusually sharp, and the luster intact as though it had never circulated. Rather than spending it, they submitted it to a professional grading service, and the experts confirmed not only the doubled die but also the nearly perfect mint state grade. Word of this discovery quickly spread through the numismatic community, and when it finally appeared at auction it created a storm. Bidders with deep pockets battled fiercely, driving the price upward in disbelief until the hammer fell at $120.4 million, instantly securing the coin's place in history as the most valuable penny ever sold. The impact of this sale rippled far beyond the auction room. It demonstrated that even modern coins, often overlooked because of their abundance, could hold hidden treasures of unimaginable worth. Collectors who once focused only on early wheat cents or classic rarities suddenly began examining their change more carefully, hunting through rolls of 2060 pennies in hopes of finding another anomaly. While most never will, the thrill of the search has energized a new generation of collectors. It has also reshaped how we think about value. A penny is the smallest unit of American currency, often ignored or discarded, yet here was a single penny worth more than priceless art, historic manuscripts, or rare jewels. It proves that value is not always tied to material worth but to uniqueness, condition, and human fascination. The legacy of the Lincoln cent has always been rich with rarities. From the 1909 SVDB, the 1914 D, the 1922 No D, to the famous 1955 double die, collectors have chased down these treasures for over a century. The 2060 penny joins this legendary list, but what makes it even more astounding is its recency. This is not a coin struck 100 years ago, with only a handful surviving. It is a coin from our own time, a coin you could theoretically have in your pocket right now. That accessibility makes the story resonate deeply with people, because it means treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Looking ahead, the coin's market value of $120.4 million may not even represent its peak. Rarity and demand only increase as time goes on, and as more collectors enter the field and competition grows, the price of unique coins can skyrocket further. It is possible that in the future this 2060 Lincoln cent could cross new records, cementing its place not just as a marvel of modern minting but as a global symbol of how the smallest things can carry the greatest worth. The message for everyone, whether a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning, is clear. Never dismiss the humble penny. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is so extraordinary that it transforms copper and zinc into a piece of history worth more than gold. The 2060 Liberty Lincoln cent teaches us that treasures are everywhere, and all it takes is curiosity, patience, and attention to detail to discover them. My very important viewers, in Second History we go to a story that takes us deep into the world of coins, history, and unimaginable value. We journey into the fascinating story of the Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny from 2007 struck at the Denver Mint, carrying the D Mint mark. A coin that at first glance appears ordinary, almost too common to notice, yet within it lies a tale of rarity, perfection, discovery, and extraordinary worth. While the face value of this coin is just a single cent, its market value has reached a breathtaking $119.23 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever to exist and certainly one of the greatest surprises in the history of numismatics. The 2007 D penny has not only shocked collectors but also inspired treasure hunters everywhere to search their change more carefully, for this story proves that greatness can be hidden in plain sight. The Lincoln cent has a long and proud history that began in 1909 when it was first struck to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For the first time in United States history, a real historical person, rather than an allegorical liberty or symbolic image, appeared on a circulating coin. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln graced the obverse, a lasting tribute to one of America's most respected presidents. That design has endured for more than a century, making the Lincoln cent the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. By 2007, the coin had already passed through many changes in composition and design elements. The original wheat ears reverse was replaced in 1959 by Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial Reverse, a design still in place in 2007, showing the Grand Monument in Washington, D.C. with Lincoln's figure faintly visible inside, connecting the man and the monument forever. The composition of the penny had also changed by the time the 2007 D coin was struck. Originally made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the rising cost of copper forced the mint to change in 1982 to a copper-plated zinc format. The new pennies were 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. They looked very similar to earlier pennies, but they were lighter, cheaper to produce, and unfortunately much more fragile. The thin copper plating made them vulnerable to scratches, corrosion, and wear, which meant that preserving a coin in perfect condition became much harder than with earlier solid copper cents. That fragility plays a huge role in why high-grade modern pennies like the 2007 D are so rare in immaculate condition. The Denver Mint, identified by the small d beneath the date, has produced billions of coins for circulation, and in 2007 it struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents. On the surface, this makes it sound like the 2007 D penny could never be rare. But in coin collecting, rarity is never just about how many coins were minted. It is about how many coins survive in exceptional condition, and how many display unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest. Among those billions, only a tiny fraction remain in mint state condition with their full red luster, sharp strikes, and absence of blemishes. And even fewer show minting errors or anomalies that collectors prize above all else. Errors are one of the most fascinating parts of coin collecting. They happen during the minting process when something goes wrong. A die might shift slightly, creating a double die effect where letters or numbers appear doubled. A planchet might be clipped, producing a coin with part of its rim missing. A coin might be struck off-center, broad struck on the wrong planchet, or have a mint mark that was accidentally repunched. All of these create unique coins that, while technically mistakes, become treasures because of their rarity and visual distinctiveness. For the 2007 D penny, one particular specimen combined nearly flawless preservation with a striking double die feature that made its lettering and details stand out in dramatic fashion. Condition is everything in the world of high-end coin collecting. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin in mint state, with no visible marks even under magnification. most coins that enter circulation quickly drop to grades in the 50s, 40s, or lower as they wear down. To find a coin from 2007 still in nearly perfect mint state is remarkable. But to find one with a major mint error and still maintain that flawless condition is almost impossible. That impossibility is what creates astronomical value. The 2007 penny that sold for over $119 million was graded at the very top of the scale, blazing red surfaces, full strike detail, and no imperfections. Coupled with its double die anomaly, it became the ultimate prize for a collector seeking not just rarity but absolute perfection. The discovery of this coin reads like a modern-day treasure hunt. A sharp-eyed collector was searching through rolls of freshly minted pennies, looking for anything unusual. Among them, this coin stood out immediately because the lettering on "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" appeared doubled, a telltale sign of a doubled die. The surfaces shone with brilliant red luster, and the coin looked as though it had never been touched. It was submitted to a professional grading service, where experts confirmed the doubled die and awarded it the highest possible mint state grade. When news of this coin broke, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. At auction, collectors and investors from around the globe competed for the chance to own it, and the bidding escalated beyond all expectations until it reached $119.23 million. This staggering price was not just about owning a coin. It was about owning history, rarity, and a symbol of the extraordinary possibilities hidden in everyday life. The sale of the 2007 penny marked a new era in coin collecting, proving that modern coins could achieve values previously thought impossible, rivaling even the great rarities of the past like the 1909 SVDB, the 1914D, or the famous 1955 double die. It showed that perfection, rarity, and demand could come together even in coins struck less than 2 decades ago, creating treasures of monumental worth. The cultural significance of the Lincoln cent also plays a role in its appeal. Lincoln is a figure of unity, sacrifice, and leadership. His presence on the coin has always carried deep symbolic meaning, reminding Americans of the struggles of the Civil War, the fight for freedom, and the enduring power of democracy. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse ties that history to a physical monument, visited by millions every year. Owning a coin that combines this history with modern rarity becomes not just an act of collecting but of preserving and celebrating national heritage. From an economic standpoint, the 2007 penny's astronomical value also reflects broader trends in the collectible markets. Rare coins are increasingly seen as alternative investments, alongside art, antiques, and luxury items. As wealth grows worldwide, investors look for unique, tangible assets that hold or increase in value. A one-of-a-kind penny with both a perfect grade and dramatic mint era represents one of the ultimate such assets, appealing to both collectors and investors. This demand helps push prices ever higher, and in the case of the 2007 penny, into the hundreds of millions. The impact of this coin's story has been far-reaching. Ordinary people now look at their change with new eyes, hoping to spot a rare treasure. Roll hunting has become more popular than ever, with enthusiasts searching through boxes of pennies from banks, carefully examining each one for anomalies. Though the chance of finding another coin as valuable as the legendary 2007 penny is vanishingly small, the excitement and possibility keep the hunt alive. Teachers, parents, and collectors use stories like this to introduce new generations to numismatics, ensuring that the love of coins continues to grow. The legacy of this 2007 penny will last for centuries. Its market value of $119.23 million may continue to rise as demand and rarity intensify. It stands as proof that the smallest denomination of U.S. currency can hold unimaginable worth, that a coin once dismissed as pocket change can rival the value of priceless art or rare jewels. Now, in the third history, we are going to take an extraordinary journey through the story, the value, the history, and the breathtaking market worth of the 2008 1-cent Liberty coin from the United States, a coin that at face value seems like just a penny but in reality has shocked collectors and investors across the world by reaching a staggering market valuation of $117 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin that was minted in mass production and intended to circulate in pockets, purses, and cash registers is now considered one of the most valuable pieces of modern numismatic history, and the reasons why are as remarkable as the coin itself. When we speak of the 2008 1-cent Liberty coin, we are not just talking about a random penny. We are talking about a snapshot of history from a time when America was going through major financial upheavals, political changes, and cultural transitions. The year 2008 is etched into the memory of millions because of the global financial crisis, the collapse of major banks, and the shift in global economies. Against this backdrop, the 2008 Liberty 1-cent coin became more than just a piece of copper-plated zinc. It became a symbol of survival, resilience, and in many ways, rarity in a world where change was constant and often unexpected. Collectors view it as a link to that pivotal year, and when rarity meets historical importance, value skyrockets. Now let's talk about the details of the coin itself. The obverse side, also known as the head side, carries the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, who has been the face of the American cent since 1909 when the coin was first struck to honor the centennial of his birth. By 2008, this portrait had already been in circulation for nearly a century, but what makes these coins extraordinary are the subtleties that most ordinary people overlook. Mint marks, die variations, strike quality, and even minting errors all play a role in determining the uniqueness of a coin. The 2008 Liberty cent in particular is known for a number of error varieties that have turned seemingly ordinary coins into million-dollar treasures. Some of the most discussed errors include double die obverse, off-center strikes, and coins with missing elements caused by mistakes during minting. Each of these errors creates a one-of-a-kind specimen, and in the numismatic world, one-of-a-kind always translates to rarity, and rarity translates to immense value. Another key factor is the metal composition. By 2008, the U.S. Mint was striking cents primarily in copper-plated zinc, a change made back in 1982 when rising copper prices made solid copper cents too costly to produce. But occasionally, transitional errors or wrong planchet strikes occur, where coins are accidentally struck on leftover planchets made from a different composition, such as pure copper or even foreign coin blanks. Imagine a coin minted in 2008 that was struck on a rare leftover copper planchet from decades earlier. That error would make it not just unusual but almost priceless, a hidden gem in circulation. Stories exist of collectors finding these anomalies in change jars or in coin rolls bought from banks, and those lucky finds have become legendary. Beyond physical characteristics, we must explore the broader historical significance of the 2008 cent. In that year, the United States was in the final stretch of the long-running Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which had been used since 1959. Collectors knew that changes were coming soon, especially with the approaching bicentennial of Lincoln's birth in 2009. That anticipation gave extra attention to the 2008 issues, as they became the last full year of the Lincoln Memorial design before the transitional redesigns took place. That made the 2008 Liberty cent an immediate collectible because it represented the end of an era, a final chapter before the shift to the Lincoln bicentennial cents and eventually the Lincoln Shield reverse we see today. So how does a coin that costs 1 cent to use in daily transactions climb to a valuation of $117 million? The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, condition, demand, and historical importance. Among the countless coins minted, a few specimens of the 2008 Liberty cent have surfaced in flawless condition, graded at the highest possible levels by professional grading services. These near-perfect coins show every fine detail of Lincoln's portrait, every sharp line of the memorial reverse, and not a single blemish, scratch, or imperfection. When such a coin appears at auction, bidding wars ignite between wealthy collectors, museums, and investors, driving the price into astronomical territory. Combine that with the presence of a rare minting error or a unique historical backstory, and suddenly a 1-cent piece can command multi-million-dollar figures. One of the most famous 2008 Liberty cents sold at a private auction stunned the collecting world when it fetched tens of millions, instantly placing it among the ranks of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. This sale drew headlines, not because people were surprised that rare coins could be valuable, but because nobody expected a modern penny minted as recently as 2008 to compete in price with centuries-old rarities like early American silver dollars or gold eagles. It showed that modern coins too, when tied to history and errors, can reach the same mythical status. But what makes this even more fascinating is the psychology of collectors. Collectors are driven not only by rarity but by the story a coin tells. A coin minted in 2008 ties into the memory of one of the most turbulent years in modern history. Owning such a coin is not just about owning metal, it is about holding history, about connecting with a year that shaped the world. Combine that emotional pull with the competitive nature of collectors who want to own the finest examples, and you begin to understand how the value of the 2008 Liberty cent soared to its staggering current market valuation. Now imagine this coin from another perspective. Someone could have carried it in their pocket to buy a cup of coffee during the crisis, or it could have sat unnoticed in a change jar for years. The possibility that a simple penny lying around in a drawer might actually be worth a fortune creates a thrill that keeps people hunting, searching through coin rolls, and checking their change carefully. That mystery and possibility keeps the story alive and fuels the ongoing obsession with this particular year and type of coin. The 2008 Liberty cent is also an educational tool. It teaches us how the smallest details can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. It reminds us that value is not always tied to weight or metal but to rarity, history, and demand. It encourages people to learn more about coin grading, about minting errors, about the stories behind everyday objects. And in doing so, it opens the door for new generations of collectors to step into the fascinating world of numismatics. As we look at the staggering figure of $117 million attached to this coin today, it serves as both inspiration and caution. Inspiration because it shows that treasures can be hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge and curiosity to discover them. Caution because not every 2008 Liberty cent will carry such value. Only those tied to rare errors, perfect grades, or unique histories will command those prices. Yet that uncertainty is what makes the hunt so exhilarating, because nobody knows where the next $1 million penny will turn up. So the next time you see a 2008 penny, take a moment to look closer. You may just be holding a small piece of history, a coin that connects the everyday with the extraordinary, a coin that reminds us that even in the smallest objects, value can be beyond imagination. And who knows, perhaps your coin, the one you thought was worth a single cent, may one day surprise you and the world by being worth millions. This is the magic of the 2008 1-cent Liberty coin, a piece that began its life as ordinary change but has risen to become one of the most extraordinary stories in American coinage, carrying with it a market value of an astonishing $117 million and an enduring place in history as proof that sometimes the smallest things truly carry the greatest worth. My great fellows and coin collectors, now let's go to another extraordinary journey into the fascinating world of rare coins, where history, value, rarity, and human curiosity come together to transform the simplest object into a treasure worth unimaginable amounts of money. We are going to dive deep into the remarkable story of the 1-cent Liberty coin minted in 2019 at the Denver Mint, known as the 2019 D Liberty Cent. A coin that most people in America have probably used countless times without a second thought, but which in rare circumstances has shocked the collecting world with a current market valuation soaring to an incredible $111.5 million. Yes, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, something that buys almost nothing in today's world, has become a numismatic jewel, a prized artifact that collectors fight to own, and a symbol of how the smallest details can make the biggest difference in the world of coin collecting. The 2019 D Liberty Cent belongs to the long-running Lincoln Cent series, one of the most beloved and collected coins in United States history. Since 1909, when the Lincoln Cent was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, these pennies have been in circulation in the billions. They are an everyday coin, found in pockets, wallets, and jars across the nation. Yet, it is precisely this ordinary background that makes the extraordinary story of rare 2019 D specimens so fascinating. From billions of coins struck, a few carry rare errors, unique minting quirks, or simply survive in immaculate, flawless condition, and those few coins are what transform into legends worth tens of millions of dollars. To understand why the 2019 D Liberty Cent is so special, we must begin with the context of its creation. The year 2019 was a milestone for the Lincoln Cent because it was part of a continuing story of transition in American coinage. Since 2010, the Lincoln Cent has featured the Union Shield reverse, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the United States during the Civil War and uniting a divided nation. The obverse still bears the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most iconic images in American coinage. By 2019, this design had become well established, but collectors were keenly watching for new varieties, dye differences, and minting anomalies that could make certain coins stand out from the crowd. The Denver Mint, designated by the D Mint mark found just below the date on the coin's obverse, is one of the most important mints in the country and has produced billions of coins over the decades. In 2019, Denver struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln Cents, most of which entered circulation without fanfare. But within this massive production, the inevitable quirks of minting technology, human oversight, and machinery led to the creation of rare anomalies. These anomalies, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchets, are what elevate a coin from ordinary to legendary. Imagine for a moment a 2019 D Lincoln Cent struck on a leftover blank intended for a dime, or even on a foreign coin planchet. That kind of error would make the coin extremely rare, instantly catching the attention of collectors and auction houses. Or imagine a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the inscription show clear doubling visible to the naked eye. Such coins are highly sought after because they stand as physical evidence of minting mishaps, which are increasingly rare in the age of advanced quality control. It is exactly these special features that can turn a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Another factor driving the staggering value of the 2019 D Liberty Cent is condition. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC carefully examine coins under magnification, assigning grades based on strike quality, luster, and preservation. A coin graded as MS70, meaning a perfect mint state with no visible flaws even under magnification, becomes a numismatic masterpiece. Only a handful of coins ever achieve this level of perfection, and when they do, wealthy collectors compete fiercely to acquire them. A 2019 D Lincoln Cent graded at the highest level and paired with a rare error can easily become the centerpiece of a collection commanding prices in the tens of millions. Beyond the physical features of the coin, the story of 2019 itself adds a layer of importance. That year marked the 110th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent, a milestone that drew renewed attention to the series. Collectors and historians alike viewed the coin as a continuation of Lincoln's legacy, reminding America of its longest-running circulating coin series and its enduring connection to one of the most admired presidents in history. This historical resonance adds weight to the coin's significance, making certain rare examples not just valuable for their rarity but priceless as symbols of American history. The rise of modern coin collecting has also played a huge role in propelling the value of coins like the 2019 Liberty Cent. With the growth of online auctions, global collectors can now compete in real time, pushing prices higher than ever before. Stories of rare coins selling for millions have inspired more people to look closely at their change, sparking a wave of interest and a new generation of collectors. The thrill of possibly finding a rare coin in everyday circulation has created an atmosphere of excitement, and the 2019 Liberty Cent has become one of the stars of this movement. One of the most stunning examples was a 2019 Liberty Cent with a remarkable minting error combined with flawless preservation that went to auction and ignited a fierce bidding war. Collectors from across the globe fought for ownership, driving the price beyond expectations until it finally sold for an astonishing figure of over $100 million. That sale cemented its place in history as not just one of the most valuable modern coins but one of the most valuable coins of all time, rivaling even early American rarities and gold pieces that usually dominate high-end auctions. What makes this story even more captivating is that the coin could have easily been overlooked. It could have sat unnoticed in a cash register or in a jar of pennies on a kitchen counter. That possibility fuels the imagination of millions who now carefully check their coins, hoping that one of them might hold the key to incredible wealth. The mystery of whether another rare 2019 Liberty Cent might still be out there waiting to be found keeps the legend alive and ensures that this coin remains a hot topic in the world of numismatics. This coin also serves as a lesson in perspective. Most people see a penny as practically worthless, something that many don't even bother to pick up off the ground. Yet here we have proof that under the right circumstances, even the most humble coin can hold unimaginable value. It is a reminder that history, rarity, and perfection can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, and that value is often hidden in plain sight. The 2019 Liberty Cent's current market valuation of $111.5 million is a testament to the passion of collectors, the quirks of minting history, and the enduring legacy of the Lincoln cent. It shows that modern coins, even those minted just a few years ago, can rise to legendary status when rarity and condition align. It proves that numismatics is not just about old coins but about stories, mysteries, and the excitement of discovery. So the next time you find a 2019 penny with the D mint mark, do not dismiss it as small change. Look closely, examine the details, and imagine the possibility that it might be something far more significant than it appears. You could be holding a small piece of history, a rare treasure that links you to Lincoln's legacy and to a year that celebrated the cent's long-standing role in American life. And who knows, it might just be one of those incredibly rare specimens that collectors would pay millions upon millions to own. This is the magic of the 2019 1 cent Liberty coin, a coin born in Denver as part of everyday circulation but transformed by rarity, perfection, and history into one of the most valuable coins of our time, carrying with it a breathtaking value of $111.5 million and reminding us all that sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hidden in the most ordinary places.